to go live. Hey guys, Jacob here from Take 3 Productions, as I am joined by my wonderful panel here as we discuss, debate, probably argue over what we think is likely deserved to win each nomination. We're going to discuss the ceremony, we're going to discuss the categories, we're going to go through everything and what we're expecting from the 90th Academy Awards. I am joined by my wonderful panel. Taylor Robinson, how are you?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited about this. Cannot wait to talk about all of these movies because I've actually seen most of them this year. I'm ready to go.
I'm also joined by Take Three's own Matthew Kearns. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just catching up on some Oscar movies. I got Oscars starring Sylvester Stallone playing on my phone right now, so this is going to be a very interesting night.
This is going to be very interesting indeed. We are also joined by Patrick Campbell. How you going, mate?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. This is going to be a blast. Why are you watching Oscar? Damn it, Matthew. I thought we talked about this.
we did.
Sticklers, every joke I tell at Take 3.
Exactly. All right, guys. Let's do this. We're going to start with a few of the minor technical categories. Best visual effects. Now, best visual effects this year we have Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes. Taylor, what have you got as a will win and a should win?
So, for visual effects, I've got, I think that it's going to go to 2049. I think it should go to Planet of the Apes.
All right. And Pat, where do you land on visual effects?
So with Taylor, I believe that Blade Runner 2049 is going to win. And as much as I love apes, I think that 2049 should also win. Though it is one of the most visually appealing movies I've seen in years.
Absolutely. That's kind of where I'm landing on this. I think Blade Runner 2049 deserves to win, and it will win. It hurts me to say that the Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes trilogy is going to walk away without winning a single Academy Award. But I think that's going to happen, and it pains me to say that. Matt, where are you on this?
Here's the thing with Planet of the Apes is Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes, they actually casted real apes. They didn't use CGI like Andy Serkis over there. But back to the actual thing. So I think Blade Runner is going to win. And I think it should win. I really did love The Last Jedi visual effects, but when you look at what Blade Runner did and the world it built, if it doesn't win, I'm going to be really annoyed.
That is fair. We are going to be joined by another member of Take 3 in just a moment with Malcolm Lay. He will be joining us in just a sec, and we will get his thoughts on visual effects when he does join. But let's move on to another category: Best Film Editing. The nominees here are Baby Driver, Dunkirk, I, Tonya, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Pat, where are you landing on this one?
It's Baby Driver. I've been saying it since I saw Baby Driver I think about a month before it opened. The editing in that movie is some of the best editing in any movie I've seen in almost a decade. The way that the music flows with the scenes, everything about every gunshot matching with just beats of music. It's crazy. It's so well made and just such a well crafted, edited film. I need it to win. Just hands down, Edgar Wright deserves that.
He absolutely does, and I completely agree with you there. Matt, where are you landing on editing?
I'm not going to lie, Jacob. I was kind of focused on live chat, and I completely forgot what the nominees were.
So we've got Baby Driver, Dunkirk, I, Tonya, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Here's the thing. I think Dunkirk is going to win.
Dunkirk. All right. Taylor, where are you landing?
I am also jumping on the Baby Driver train here. The editing in that movie is just incredible. And if it doesn't win, I'm going to be really, really sad because that movie just blew me away watching it, and Edgar Wright and his team definitely deserve it.
Taylor, you're on the right team here.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of landing on the same panel. I really, really, really want Baby Driver to win. That is kind of where I'm going for. That is my pick. I'm going with this is my heart pick over my head. I think conventional wisdom says Dunkirk is going to win this award. I think Dunkirk is the favorite most likely, but my head and my heart is saying that Baby Driver pulls this, and I really want it to. Malcolm Lay, how are you? What have you got for best editing?
So editing or sound editing?
Editing, film editing, best film editing.
Yeah, so for film editing, I've actually got I, Tonya. I think that could win just with the different style of film that they chose to do by merging it as a documentary kind of mockumentary style. But I mean, like, I do want, it's one of those ones I also want Baby Driver to win as well. So I really go for my heart on this, then heads.
All right. Let's move on to best costume. I'm just going through the list of backwards that the Academy give. So I'm just going backwards. Best costume, we have Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul. Matt, I'm going to start with you. Where do you land on this one?
I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast. I thought those costumes were really great. You can leave it at that.
This is going to be interesting for Matt. Taylor, where do you land on best costume?
For costuming, I do think it's going to go to Beauty and the Beast, but I also wouldn't be upset if it went to Phantom Thread.
See, I don't get where the Beauty and the Beast is coming from. This is Phantom Threads. Like, the movie is about costumes. If this is if they're gonna win any award, I think this is the award that Phantom Thread is going to win. So I think a will and a should is Phantom Thread.
I apologize, Pat Mel. Is that how you're judging this? Does that mean if a movie is about sound editing, no matter what, it should probably win sound editing? All right, that's an interesting way to go about it. I mean, more than mine, but that's an interesting way to choose.
Malcolm, where do you land on?
Yeah, I've actually got something completely different. I've actually got Victoria and Abdul winning costume for me because, like, period pieces, it's always really hard to get the costume that looks so right. Victoria and Abdul actually had it so spot on. The Indian outfits as well, so I've actually got that over the other two.
All right, and Pat, where are you landing on this one?
I didn't think this was a contest. I thought this was just Phantom Thread's award to win. I'm kind of with you. Like, that whole movie's whole point was about creating dresses and costumes, and look how great they are. And it's one of the most well done movies when it comes to that this year. I mean, it's not a contest. The Beauty and the Beast love is weird to me because I don't really like the dress in that movie. The one costume, the one very important costume, and I didn't even like it.
That's kind of true, and I will give you that one. All right, let's move on to best makeup and hairstyling. We have the 3 nominees, the only category that now is still at 3 nominees, and that is Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder. Pat, I will start with you. Where do you land?
Repeat that real quick. I apologize. I got distracted.
Oh, good. It is Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder.
I don't know, man. I feel like Darkest Hour is going to win more things this year than it probably should. And so I'm going to just throw Darkest Hour into this one just because I feel like they're like, hey, Gary Oldman's in a movie that he's probably going to win with for once, so let's give it other awards too, even if it's some of the side awards. So we'll go with that one.
I personally do think that Darkest Hour deserves it for these films. I think that it has the best makeup. I mean, what they were able to do with Oldman and turn him and make him look exactly like Churchill. Like he looked like Winston Churchill. So I think this is Darkest Hour's award to lose. Taylor, where are you landing?
Well, it's difficult because none of these movies are about putting on makeup or how to do your hair, so I don't really know how we can decide this. But no, I'm going with Darkest Hour. I think Darkest Hour is going to win this one.
Thank you for the smart-ass comments. Malcolm, where are you going?
With what they did with Oldman alone, it's enough for Darkest Hour to make up here, so it's really no contest.
Matt, where are you going?
First, Taylor, thanks for stealing my bit. Second, I'm gonna go with Wonder, and here's why. You guys see Owen Wilson's hair? I mean, it was so perfectly coiffed. I mean, wow. I mean, I saw the trailer of that, and just the trailer, and I was like, wow.
You're gonna make me regret bringing you on this show, aren't you, Matt? All right.
Isn't that in general when I'm on take 3?
Pretty much. All right, let's move on to what I have affectionately become to known as the non-Roger Deakins Award. Will he win it this year, Pat?
If he doesn't win, I'm rioting. And you guys can hold me to that. This is the last time Roger Deakins does not win Best Cinematography. If he doesn't, we all agree we riot, right?
It will be a very interesting riot. In 5 different places on the planet. Yep, sure. Let's all riot together. Malcolm, where are you landing on cinematography?
Well, I mean, for those that know me, know that I don't like Blade Runner at all, but I've got Roger Deakins winning cinematography for Blade Runner. So.
Wow, all right. So we've got 2 people going Blade Runner. Roger Deakins is getting his award. Matt, have we got a third?
I'm just whatever the other nominees.
The other nominees are Blade Runner 2049, Darkest
Blade
Hour,
Runner 2049.
Dunkirk, Mudbound, and Shape of Water.
So Blade Runner 2049.
I'm sorry. Go Oscars. Are you just stacking it for Roger Deakins? Come on, it's Blade Runner.
I will be shocked.
I will literally riot my way to Burbank, and me and Pat will meet in the middle of the states in our riot.
Yes. I'm with Matt on this one. We got this.
Okay. This is the Leo effect.
Oh, don't you
I would put, everything is telling me that Roger Deakins is winning this award. But Shape of Water could possibly, if Shape of Water is going to have a run and get a lot of awards and actually have that run that everyone's terrified that it might actually get, it could win this award. And
thanks a lot, Chris Clark.
I get where you're coming from. However, I think that if anything is going to beat Blade Runner, it's going to be Dunkirk. And that's the only other movie cinematography-wise I see knocking it. Although Shape of Water's run looks terrifying, so at the same time, I see where you're coming from.
No, yeah, Shape of Water's run looks terrifying, but like when you look at what Blade Runner did cinematography-wise, like this is one of those times where I'm just like, I'm annoyed because of the artistry of the cinematography in that movie. Like to lose, how could it lose?
Taylor, are we all wrong?
No, I'm gonna jump in the car and drive to Burbank to riot with Pat if it doesn't win.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be
Jacob,
there.
get over here.
I will find a way to come over and I will riot with you. The cool guy in the chat says LA Riots 2.0. Oh, don't know if we go that far, but okay.
Too soon, buddy. Too soon.
20 years too soon. Okay. Let's move on to Best Production Design. We have Beauty and the Beast, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and The Shape of Water. Malcolm, we're going to start with you. Where do you land on this one?
So for production design, I've actually got Beauty and the Beast for this one. There's like all the sets and stuff looked like they literally reached into the film for the animated version, yanked it out, and just bought them, and they all look pretty much the same. It's really amazing.
I can kind of see where you're going with that. personally, I think this is Shape of Water's to lose. I think the way that like they do, like I haven't. Full disclosure, still actually haven't seen Shape of Water because it's on at
I'm
the
quitting
world.
this show right now.
Oh no! Okay,
Same, hashtag
okay.
same.
You know what, Pat? Come live in Australia and try and find a cinema that is playing Shape of Water, and I will let you because it is insane how difficult it is to find this movie that is the front runner for Best Picture, by the way. But oh well.
It's called the internet.
Yeah, I don't illegally download. You people know this. But just by trailer, just by everything I have heard and where the buzz is, I am going Shape of Water. I would love to see Blade Runner 2049 win this, but I do think Shape of Water is going to. Pat, I think you're about to murder me. What am I wrong?
Blade Runner. I think that the one thing that we can continue to guarantee is Blade Runner wins all the visual effects awards. And seeing how much Denis Villeneuve put into making this film, seeing all those making of, seeing those books, like that is one of the most appealing looking films. I said it earlier that I've seen in years, and it just pops off the screen. No matter how much you don't like the movie, you can't help but just be drawn into the world and the way it looks and the way it moves and the way it feels. And I feel like this movie deserves it.
That is very fair. Taylor, where are you landing on production design?
Oh, well, I think that it will go to The Shape of Water. I do. I just think that's what's going to happen. But I would really love to see it go to Blade Runner 2049. I think it should go there, but I don't think it will.
Matt, where are you landing?
Here's the thing. I saw 15 seconds of the Shape of Water trailer before a YouTube video. I think it should go to Blade Runner. I mean, when you look at what Blade Runner did, like, just visually, the thing about Blade Runner is, like, my mom could watch Blade Runner 2049 and could hate the movie, but if I showed her a screenshot, she would probably say, oh, it's that Blade Runner movie, or she would probably say another Harrison Ford movie Matt shows me. But the thing I love is that there's so many distinct locations, but they all feel in the same world. Like, you go from the city to Kay's apartment, to Harrison, that whole desolate place Harrison Ford is living. You go to all
Vegas.
those, but it all still feels in the same world. And I think that is something that's something that's not easy to do, to have very distinct locations that still feel in the same universe. And that's why I think it should go to Blade Runner.
That's fair. All right. I am going to do the next two categories a little. We're going to do them both at the same time. It's not undermining sound editing and sound mixing, but considering they're all the exact same nominees and it's very much going to be kind of around the same discussion, I figured let's do both at the same time. So the nominees for sound editing and sound mixing is Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm going to start with this one because there is a gut feel I have at the moment that Dunkirk is not going to win a single Academy Award. I don't know why. I just have this gut feeling, and this is the two categories that could completely break that feeling that I have, and it could walk away with this. I personally have Blade Runner winning both. I would like Baby Driver to win at least one of them, or possibly Star Wars, but I have Blade Runner winning both. Pat, where are you on this?
I think you're right. I think it could go to Blade Runner. And like I was talking about earlier, just that way that movie was constructed, I think it's going to take a lot of the visual awards and things like that, sound editing too. However, no movie deserves it more than Baby Driver, in my opinion. Just going back to what we were talking about earlier with the best editing, the way that movie's music is mixed in, the way that everything comes together is one cohesive package. And that movie did not and would not work if it wasn't for the way that the music is incorporated and the way that every soundbite is edited into the film.
Malcolm, where do you land on these two?
Yep. So, like for sound editing, I've got Baby Driver, and for sound mixing, I've got Last Jedi. But for me, it's the case of I might have them in the wrong order, flip flop. But I think it's either going to be any one of them could easily take either of them out. I mean, I don't have problems with any of the nominees. So.
All right, Matt, where do you land on these two?
I think Blade Runner is probably going to walk away with them. I would love to see Last Jedi get the love in this one technical category because I think the sound editing and the sound mixing in that film was superb. So I would really love to see it win the Oscars.
Taylor, where are we landing on you?
I'm 100% with Pat on this one. I think that it'll go to 2049, both of them, but I would love to see Baby Driver take them just because exactly what he said. Baby Driver would not have worked without those two categories done as well as they were. There's no way. That movie would have been so much less than how spectacular it was. So that's where I fall on that one.
All right. Let's move on to what I think is going to be a very interesting category, and that is Best Original Song. The nominees this year are Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, and This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Taylor, take her away.
So I really don't know where this one is gonna fall. I personally, just because of how much I love The Greatest Showman, I'm gonna go with The Greatest Showman, but that's probably not what's gonna happen. I have no idea what's gonna happen in this category.
Yeah, Pat, where did they nominate the wrong song from Greatest Showman?
No, I feel like This Is Me is the song that should be nominated because it was the one they really, really pushed with the movie. It was the one they came out the door with. Like, they really pushed that song. However, is it too late for us to finally nominate See You Again from Furious 7? Because, Jesus Christ, like, what the hell? Why? Can we talk about the fact that that still never got a nomination? Let's just talk about that. And all the feels that it gave us at the end of the Furious 7 movie. So come on, why did See You Again not get nominated?
Kurt Russell was in that movie, so I agree with you, Pat.
Of course you do. Of course. So Pat, what do you think will win this?
It'll be This Is Me. I have this feeling because if they're going to give anything to Greatest Showman and Fox really wants it to walk away with anything, This Is Me feels like the song that should take away. It's just such a crowd-pleasing song. Everyone who keeps seeing this movie over and over and over again could tell you how much they love that song and what it means to the movie. It just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I look. Remember, here is the irony that I have with Remember Me.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. Other than the main song, the two words of the song, I Welcome to Australian Internet, everyone. I'm very, very sorry about that. We are live. So yeah. All right. Where
I'm
was
sure
I?
it was a very impassioned speech, Jacob.
It was, and where was I when I got cut out? All right.
You were talking about how you don't remember me.
Okay, I think that very rarely do the Academy Awards go with the pop hit, whereas I think very rarely do they go with a Disney movie. They generally go with the pop hit, and that's why this year I think they will go with the pop hit. Let's move on to Malcolm.
Whoa! Oh, I thought you were moving on. I was gonna say me and Malcolm didn't get to
Malcolm?
say our piece. I thought you were like next award.
So Malcolm, what do you think what do you think will win best original song?
I mean, I've got this is me because I mean, like the other, I mean, like you, I don't remember me, and the other songs I don't really know that well. I mean, Greatest Showman is so grand. Like if you look at last year, Pastic and Paul, they won the song last year as well. So and they may happen again. So it was a great song. So.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get control back of this thing now that I died. All right, let's move on to Matt. What have you got?
Here's the thing. Hugh Jackman is a wonderful man. He's got a wonderful singing voice. I'm assuming he sung Remember Me. So I'm going to go with Remember Me because, full disclosure, I didn't see a single one of the movies nominated for original song. But I did see the trailer for The Greatest Showman. So, there's that.
Okay, this has turned into a bit of a disaster. I'm very sorry about that, guys. All right, let's move on. Let's go over. All right, real quick, let's cover real quickly the
Riots in Burbank? Yes.
Yeah, the short films and the documentary feature. Because, okay, did anyone here actually see the short films and the animated feature and the animated shorts at all?
I saw a short film is at one point. I'm not sure if it's one of the ones nominated.
All right, real quick, across the board, Taylor, what are your four for doco short, live action short, and animated short?
I have nothing because I haven't seen anything from any of it. Like, I can't even, like, what's the point of me guessing at this? Like, I have nothing. I got
Street cred. Go. Yes.
Oh, street cred. All right. Let's talk about animated shorts.
All right, we'll skip those. We'll skip those ones. Let's move on to best foreign film. Did anyone see any foreign films that they actually want to give anything?
I did. It was
Matt.
this wonderful film. It was called Ferme la Bouche. It was a French film.
I'm very terrified right now.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful, beautiful film. It was about a young man in France who spoke French. Very good movie. I saw it when I was in high school.
Oh, I meant this year, genius. Okay.
Oh.
Taylor.
Jacob, I barely saw an American movie, let alone
Thank
foreign.
you for that, Matt. This has been a complete unmitigated disaster. Let's move on to best animated feature. Pat, is this the biggest lock of the night?
It's Coco. Anyone who says it's not Coco is wrong. And I have no problem telling them to their face that they're wrong because Coco's going to win because Disney almost always wins and Pixar deserves a win. And Coco is beautiful and moving and amazing and one of the best movies of last year, not just animated. So yes, Coco's going to win and it's Coco, right? I'm not wrong here.
I will be shocked beyond belief if anything other than Coco wins this. I think because one, it was a terrible year for animated films. Like it was a straight up terrible year for animated films. There were some bright spots. There were some real massive bright spots, but on the whole, this year was not good for animated films. And I think Coco is one of the best animated films that came out this year. It was my second favorite film of the year. I think Coco wins this and deserves to win it. Taylor.
My brain is literally going to break if Coco doesn't win. Like, how do you give it to another movie other than Coco in this category? I just don't. If that happens,
Boss
I will
Baby's pretty
also come join you, Pat, so we can riot, because that literally
Yes.
doesn't make any sense for anyone else to win.
If Boss Baby wins this, we're rioting in the streets. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
we are. We're setting everything on fire. It's happening.
Yep.
The fact that Boss Baby was nominated is almost enough for me to riot. So
No, same.
Yeah,
I
like-
feel you, Jacob. Yeah.
Whoa. Let's all slow down. Because remember when Jacob was talking about how it's a pretty bad year for animated movies, and there were some dark spots and some bright spots? You want to know what one of those bright spots was? It was a movie where Alec Baldwin plays a baby in a suit. Okay?
No.
And it's the future Oscar-winning film, The Boss Baby.
Wait, are we
Okay?
talking about
I know.
Saturday Night Live? Because that's where Baldwin is,
And now
and
listen,
wearing a suit all the time.
I'm not just saying Boss Baby is going to win because it's the only animated film I saw this year.
Oh my god.
But,
Jesus.
oh god!
but the Boss Baby is going to win, okay? Because it's a tiny little baby in a suit. And everyone loves babies in suits, especially babies in suits who say cookies are
Matt,
for closers.
Someone turn his
I'm
microphone
just
off.
gonna say, Matt, I have to tell you, I didn't see Boss Baby. I saw the calmer Boss Baby and wanted to die just seeing that. So
Okay.
you're wrong.
Okay,
Here's the
here,
thing. If
here's the
Coco was on Netflix, I would have probably seen Coco. But Boss Baby was on Netflix.
I will say one thing about Boss Baby. One positive thing. The first half an hour is kind of cool, like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and then it goes off the rails and is bad after that. So no, Boss Baby's not going to win. It's Coco. We're just come on.
No, it's gonna listen. It's gonna be Coco. I feel like this is one of those things where Disney definitely, dropped something into the Academy voting. It was just like, we're just gonna win this year, okay? I'm surprised Cars 3 wasn't nominated this, or was it? Was it nominated?
No, it
No.
wasn't.
I'm
Thank
surprised
God.
it wasn't, just given the year we had in animation. I'm surprised the Cars. movie
Okay, the fact that Captain
nominated.
Underpants didn't get nominated over Boss Baby is fucking bullshit. Sorry, that was bad words. I apologize, but
I'm just
like
I
just
don't care on this show.
We've
This
gone off
show's
the
gone
rails
off the rails
already,
already.
Pat.
So.
Captain Underpants deserved a nomination, and I will not stay quiet about it. DreamWorks nominated the wrong movie. I get Boss Baby made all the money, and look, Alec Baldwin talking baby, but Captain Underpants was actually a really good superhero satire, and that was
Wow.
very
I've heard
like,
that. Yeah, I
necessary.
heard that.
So
Evan is
I don't
gonna be
understand.
Really happy with you.
I was gonna say, yeah, the part of Patrick Campbell will now be played by Evan DeGraff.
Other way
Well,
around,
you know
he's
what?
gonna
Evan
go.
and I are like the same person 50% of the time.
In the words of the Russian guy from Armageddon, or 70-30.
All right, Malcolm, where are you landing on animated feature?
Well, first of all, I'm just glad Emoji Movie wasn't nominated in this category.
Boo!
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's definitely Coco. I mean, if Lego Batman was nominated, then it would have some competition. But yeah, it's Coco's to lose. So.
All right, let's go. We are down to the big ones, the main Academy Award, the main top 8. I call them the main 8 that everyone wants to win. We start with Best Adapted Screenplay, generally one of the stronger categories. Not so much this year. Nominees are Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. When I say generally the strongest, 5 incredible films, only 1 is nominated for Best Picture. That doesn't happen when it comes to adapted screenplay, and very, very rarely does that happen. Taylor, what's winning? What should win? And what do you think? What do you think of the nominees?
Yeah, it's a really interesting category this year with the nominees. I am going to say that Call Me by Your Name is going to win, and I would be very happy about that because, as you know, I'm the one in the group that is going to be here to root for Call Me by Your Name. But
Make
I
that 2 of
would-
us. I really like that movie, Taylor.
Okay, good. But I
I
also
liked your
would
review
love
of
to
it.
see. I would love to see Logan win this. Nothing would make me happier than seeing Logan win this. But I think it goes to Call Me by Your Name.
And Malcolm, I'll just go to you. What do you think is going to win this category?
My heart wants Logan to win it because I mean it's the first comic book movie that's not an original comic book movie. to be nominated in this category. Yeah. But I do want Disaster Artist to win though, because like it's really good at showing sort of what went into making The Room and all that, and what didn't go into making it as well. But yeah, no, I think Disaster Artist more could pull this off.
Okay, so the Disaster Artist. Pat, where do you land on Call Me by Your Name or Disaster Artist?
Logan, I mean, it's probably, I don't know. It's very interesting, especially with this new stuff going on with Disaster Artists, like potentially being, you know, stolen, which is not okay. And that really kind of bums me out as the script goes. So I would like to see Call Me by Your Name win if I have to choose between those two. But in my heart, I want Logan to win. Logan did not get the nominations it deserved this year. I'm glad it at least got this, but it didn't get Best Supporting Actor. It didn't even get Best Picture, and that's crazy to me. Like, it deserved more than it got. So if I could at least see it walk away with anything, I would love to see it win this.
All right, Matt, where are you landing?
All right, here's the thing. I want Logan to win, and I think it could because here, yeah, okay. This is adapted screenplay, so we also have to judge this on what the film was adapted from. Now, look, Call Me by Your Name, probably a pretty serious book, so we got a serious film. Disaster Artist, serious book, serious film, well, sort of. Logan was adapted from a comic book where a dude with the weirdest haircut in the world ran around in yellow spandex, and we got Logan. A movie that made grown men like me cry. That's not something to be taken lightly. I think Logan is one of the strongest screenplays we've had in the last couple of years. And I think I'm so mad that it didn't get the appreciation in other categories like Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor, and even, I will argue, Best Actor. So I really want Logan to walk away with this one.
And your little heartfelt speech right there is exactly why it's not going to win. Like, between the two of us, we could say this until the cows come home, but all these old white men in the Academy who still think of it as the guy running around in spandex is the reason I feel like it just doesn't get the love it deserves. And that's, it's so irritating.
I hate old white men. Well,
it's
unless they're related.
It's very, very frustrating. All right. So, adapted screenplay on one side, original screenplay on the other. I honest to God cannot remember the last time where this many Best Picture nominees were in original screenplay. Like, that doesn't happen normally. So, we've got The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This one's wide open. The only one, sadly, that there are two that I think won't win, and that is Lady Bird and The Big Sick. I think those are the two that are also ran at this point, but it wouldn't shock me if on Sunday night they open the envelope and The Big Sick or Lady Bird is called. Like, this is I haven't seen this before, like where I can literally throw a dart at one of the 5 to win and it will. I'm going Get Out. I want Get Out to win. I think Get Out will, and that's the one that I want to win. I think that is a very smart, intelligent, well-written script that is the reason the film works as well. Like, the script and the directing are the two reasons that film works as well as it does, and I think that's where it should be honored. Pat, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, you're not, because I completely agree with you on exactly everything you said about Get Out. However, the same I can apply to Shape of Water, and I think that this is where that's going to land, because I think that it is actually one of the best scripts that Del Toro's ever directed, and it just comes from such a place of passion, and the way that it really builds off of our fears of what the world is and how we see it, but through the lens of like 1950s, where we thought everything was perfect, but it wasn't. And I think that it's just a really great screenplay. And I think that this is the year we're going to see Del Toro finally kind of get his due from the Academy, because you know that they love to give Lifetime Achievement Awards when they've basically snubbed you your whole career. So I would not be surprised to see him at least get this for now.
Okay. Normally, they start screenplay. It's either the first one they give or it's about halfway through.
Yes.
Once we hear what I think this is the best picture race. I think whoever wins this award wins best picture. Because to me, like, Get Out is not going to win best picture without winning another Academy Award. This is the only other award it can win. I don't think it can win any other award other than original screenplay. Shape of Water, if it wins screenplay, it's gonna win. Like, if it wins screenplay, it's gonna get screenplay, director, picture. If Three Billboards wins screenplay, then I think it could end up winning best picture as well. So this category is so important for what is the overall race and the momentum going into best picture. Taylor, where do you side on all this?
So this one is kind of a mess of a category because it could go any which way. I would love to see The Big Sick take this one, just because that movie, the first time I saw it, I watched it once, immediately started over and watched it again, because it just resonated so much with me, and it makes me so sad that this movie didn't get appreciation in any other categories, because it absolutely deserved it. But I don't know, I think it'll either go to Shape of Water or Get Out, which either of those I'm totally fine with. I wouldn't be upset about either of those, but like you said, Jacob, I won't be surprised if they open it and any of those are on the card. Like, it could literally be any of them.
Malcolm, where are you landing in all this?
Yeah, this was the hardest one for me to pick. All five I deserved it, but I'm going to go with Three Billboards, just because I remember why I think that's won a lot of the screenplays at like the SAGs and various other awards as well. So I think it could be Three Billboards.
All right, Matt, where are you landing?
Here's the thing. And one person on this panel can attest to this. The Big Sick made me cry. At the same time, I was emotionally wrecked after I watched The Big Sick. And I probably should have known what I was getting myself into with a movie called The Big Sick, but I'm an idiot. I feel like this should win because it balanced comedy and drama very well, which is not an easy thing to do. Like, and a lot of like dramedies, as they're called, the drama is really strong, but the comedy slips. But then you can have the reverse where it felt like The Big Sick was very strong. But, you know, from what I've heard about the other movies that I haven't seen, their scripts are apparently very good.
All right. Taylor, Best Supporting Actress. We've got Mary J. Blige in Mudbound, Allison Janney in I, Tonya, Leslie Mansville in Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. What's winning?
I think that to me, it's a race between Allison Janney and Laurie Metcalf at this point. I would like to see Allison Janney take it, but I really, I feel like it's going to be between one of those two.
So what's your should and what's your will?
Should is Allison. And you know what? I'm going to say will. I'm also going to say will.
All right. I completely agree. I want Allison to win this. She has been one of my favorite character actors for years. She is absolutely sensational on television. She is sensational when she is a supporting role in smaller movies. Her role, okay, this is a deep cut and a deep pull, but the movie The Way, Way Back, she plays the neighbor in that, and she is absolutely amazing in that film, and she was so overlooked come Oscar season that year. And this, to me, is redemption for that film because I think she completely deserved it for that. But also, she was incredible in I, Tonya. Like, mind-blowingly amazing. And I think this is an award that she deserves for I, Tonya, but also for her entire career. Pat, how wrong am I?
No, you are completely. I didn't know this was a question. I thought that we all just assumed at this point that Allison Janney was going to take it. Look at all the awards she's gotten so far. And this is an actress that we've all loved since doing The West Wing. Since, if we want to go real deep cut, 10 Things I Hate About You. Go back and rewatch that. She's fantastic in that movie. And she has been so deserving of an award for so long. And she finally got a script that let her really just show off on camera. And it worked. And it was great. And if she doesn't win... we already thought the riots were going to be bad already. It's going to get worse if she doesn't win. Let's just throw that out there. That's how this is going to go. Janney's taking that award over everyone else, or riots in the streets.
Malcolm, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like Allison Janney's got the momentum. She's going to win. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, it's not much you can say, Matt. Anything extra you want to add to that?
Here's the thing, Allison Janney, from what I've been hearing, I, Tonya, and from what I've seen from like clips of chairs and stuff, I think she could definitely win it, and especially like this could be one of those career over specific, specific performance, but they're always like, we're giving you this Oscar for performances we didn't give you the Oscar for, but you never ever count out Spider-Man alum Octavia Spencer. Okay? I just wanted to get that joke in.
Okay.
She's in the Spider-Man, guys.
Jesus
It's not
Christ.
forget.
Alrighty, let's move. Okay, I'm totally regretting my decision on putting you on this show. No,
You invited me, don't forget.
You bring the comedy. All right, let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. We're going to break. Are we all going to here collectively break Evan's heart? In the discussion, we have Willem Dafoe, Woody Harrelson, Richard Jenkins, Christopher Plummer, and Sam Rockwell. This is Sam Rockwell's to lose, right? Like all the momentum, everything is going his way. Willem Dafoe is a possible upset. I am completely in agreement that Willem Dafoe could possibly upset and win this for his Career Achievement Award. But all the momentum is on Rockwell. He has won everything so far. I don't see how Rockwell doesn't win this. Malcolm, where are you on this?
Yeah, so I mean I've got Sam Rockwell as well. I mean, like in Three Billboards, like I really liked his acting over Woody Harrelson. So yeah, so Sam Rockwell for sure.
Taylor, do you think any of the controversy around the character that Sam Rockwell plays could affect him winning this?
I really don't. I mean, if he didn't have the momentum that he does right now, maybe. But the fact that he's won everything, I really don't think there's a danger of an upset. I think the only upset maybe that might happen would be Willem Dafoe. But I'm just mad about this category generally because Michael Stuhlbarg is not in it. He was amazing in Call Me by Your Name. He was amazing in The Shape of Water, and he was in The Post. So I'm really just upset about that.
Also, Fargo season 3. Let's not forget Fargo
Yes.
season 3.
Yes.
I just love how you just like, he's amazing in Call Me by Your Name. He's amazing in Shape of Water, and he's in The Post. Like it's not like he was just in.
What are you trying to say, Taylor?
I'm saying he was fine in that movie, but it's the other two that I'm just like so mad that he didn't get recognition for. He wasn't bad in The Post, but like those other two movies, he was amazing.
All right, Pat, where are you on this one?
I just generally hate this category because we all know that one person should be in this category that's not
And
here
should win the
outside
award.
of Michael Stuhlbarg. Let's be really honest about this category right now.
Yeah.
There was a little movie that we were talking about earlier called Logan, where Patrick Stewart fucking crushed as Xavier. After 20 years of us watching this character, to see what he did in that role was so heartbreaking until his last dying breath. Sorry, spoilers for a year-old movie. But look, like this, come on. Here we are, and he didn't even get a nomination. I don't understand. This should have been an easy lock. Stewart should have been winning. I love Sam Rockwell, but get the fuck out of here. This was Patrick Stewart's award to a win, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry.
I'm glad that Pat is as upset about this category as me. Like, I don't even care that it's not the same actor. It's the fact that we're like, fuck this category.
I'm heated. I'm heated as well. I'm very heated. Okay.
Well,
Where are you going? Here's the thing. You old ass Oscar people. I don't care that your pills you taking at 6 o'clock. You don't read comic books and all this. Patrick Stewart didn't play a freaking superhero. He played an old man with dementia, and he sold it. And for someone who, like Pat said, we've been watching this character for 20, and the same actor playing it for 20 years, and that character has always been very strong. He's always been the character that everyone turns to and everything. And to see him play him in such a weak way, like, it's literally watching a family member happens. You watch a family member get old and become decrepit, and it sucks to see this one strong person be just withered down to that. And it is a beautiful performance, and just everything he does, he sells it so well. And it pisses me off that they gave it to Woody Harrelson. From everything I've heard, 3 people who like that movie don't think he should have gotten the nomination, when you clearly have a guy who not only should have been nominated, but should have walked away with this award.
The fact that 3 people outside of Ebbing, Missouri thought that Woody Harrelson deserved an award is just fucking bullshit.
Seriously. Oh my god. Okay. Having said all that about Patrick Stewart, because fuck you, Academy, sometimes. I like the Top 10 show, and Sam Rockwell was in Galaxy Quest, and looks like Matt knows, so he should probably win this award.
Wow, that is really well done, and that is a very oh my god.
He should win it for Galaxy Quest, is what I'm saying. Sam Rockwell
he should have won for Galaxy
Quest.
Yeah. All the anger you're feeling is what I felt in 2010 when Andrew Garfield wasn't even fucking nominated for Social Network. I was still not over that.
Oh, I'm still not happy about that.
Still not over that. All right. Let's move on to, this is how I do it. Let's go to Best Actor. We have Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name. I finally learned how to say it. Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread. Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. And Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. And I still managed to stuff that one up.
I do that every time. Don't feel bad. Every time.
All right. Malcolm, I'm going to start with you. Who wins? And who should win?
I mean, this one was a hard one to pick, because I mean, like, it's either going to be any of the 4. I don't think Denzel Washington's winning it at all. Sad to say, but I think Oldman's got the momentum at the moment, so I think Oldman can win away with this.
Oldman is most likely who I think to win. I think Oldman is a lock. If out of the 4 acting awards, I think Oldman is the lock. He's the one that if you have to bet money on, he's the one you bet anything on. Pat, do you agree?
Unfortunately, fuck this category. I like Gary Oldman. What is Denzel doing here? I love Denzel. Did anyone actually see Roman Esquire Israel movie? And I like Nightcrawler. I
didn't know that movie existed.
I don't know anyone who actually saw it, which is where is Hugh Jackman? Again, I'm going to point at Logan. Clearly I love this movie, but why? Again, 20 years with this character, to see him beaten down and broken to beyond repair, coming to terms with the fact that he's about to die, to finally find out he has a daughter, to finally find out he has a family, to finally get to all these places. The emotion that he shows through that movie is phenomenal. And again, he's locked out because it's a comic book movie. That is the only reason that he got locked out. I don't understand it. And I know that everyone here, we all like everyone in this category. It's not even that. It's that someone who was so deserving was so overlooked. And that's still where I'm sitting on this. And I don't understand it. And it's so aggravating. And it makes me so angry because Jackman should be in this category. He should be in the conversation. Denzel should not be, as much as I like Denzel. And we all know Gary Oldman's going to win it. Like that, it's not a conversation about who's going to win. It's who should have been nominated at this point. So, thank you, Academy, for again just overlooking the comic book movie because comic books or something, because kids and things. I think you should probably rewatch Logan, considering it's not made for kids. Woo!
Very impassioned, right? How? Okay, can I ask? I
Did we break Jacob?
I think so.
because
Yeah, we
I
lost
think it will.
Jacob.
Oh no, Jacob, we lost you.
I have no idea what's happening.
Don't worry, I'll take it from here. Okay, so remember all
I
those
yelled at
things
the
I said about-
internet so hard.
Remember
that
all those
broke.
things I said about Patrick Stewart for supporting actor? Okay, now I'm gonna go to lead actor. Academy, can you get your head out of your ass and stop watching the same movies over and over again and watch Logan again and see?
Very.
Whoa.
What just
Jacob
happened?
just ran out of the room.
Okay,
I
back to my-
screamed at Jacob and he ran away. You guys, I'm sorry.
Okay, back to my speech. What the fuck are you doing, Academy? Like, this is pissing me off because Hugh Jackman again. He wasn't really even playing a superhero. Like, he wasn't. He was playing a guy who's kind of just like at the end of his ropes, who is dying, knows he's dying, and all this shit is happening to him. Like, all of this is happening. He's dying of pretty much cancer. He finds out he has a daughter. He is the last of this known group. Like, all his friends are dead. And not only that, he has to take care of a guy who used to take care of him. Like, that is so... And he plays it so well. I mean, just that last scene. The last scene between him and X-23 and X-24, like, that whole thing... And the way he plays... I'm sorry, again, it's a year old. The way he plays after Professor X dies, the whole burial scene and the freak out in the car is just perfect. And it pisses me off that the Academy does this, that they'll give comic book movies, they'll give it technical awards, and okay, every once in a while we'll get a Logan for an adapted screenplay. But the fact that they never give credit to the actual fucking people who are playing these characters. Denzel, what movie were you in, man? I love you, Denzel. You're great, but I literally didn't know you were in that movie until Jacob read off the Academy Award nominations to me. And I was like, oh, Denzel was in a movie. Say it. Hugh Jackman, not only should Hugh Jackman be nominated, we should really be talking about how likely is it for Hugh Jackman to win. Having said all that, it's probably going to be Gary Oldman. He seems like the only true frontrunner. He has the momentum. He's won pretty much all the awards that you care about leading up to the Oscars. But again, fuck you, Oscars. You know what, to me, Hugh Jackman. Also, this is just a middle finger to Hugh Jackman. The guy's been nominated once. The Academy did the same thing to Harrison Ford. They gave him one nomination and couldn't even give him the trophy.
That was very impassioned. And yes, I am back because Australian internet is the worst.
Sorry that I screamed at you so hard that your internet broke. Jacob.
It's okay, Jacob. It's okay, Jacob. I took it over. I don't think they even noticed. Well, they did, but...
So, has anyone here not had a very impassioned speech about why Hugh Jackman deserved to be nominated over Gary over Denzel Washington?
Go, Taylor,
take
go,
it away.
All right. Here's the thing, guys.
You take the Greatest Showman and not Logan.
Oh boy. So I think you guys have pretty much covered all of the Hugh Jackman rage. Like, I feel the exact same rage where it literally doesn't make any sense. I don't think anyone realized that Denzel was in any movie. I don't think it was just Matt. I think it was everyone. So I don't understand this at all. They just needed someone else to shove in there. And they're like, oh, Denzel's generally good. Let's just nominate him, even though no one knows what the hell this movie is.
Yep.
Like, sounds great. That's definitely what they did, which is dumb because Hugh Jackman, like, he was all in for this movie. He gave every last fiber of his being to this movie. And I do not understand how anyone, whether you're a comic book fan or not, how anyone can see that movie and not just be wrecked by it. Because that movie has stuck with me since the very first time I watched it. It just wrecked me. So I'm really upset about that. I am going to say that Gary Oldman's going to win, which sucks, and I'm mad, and it's terrible. And out of the freaking choices that we have here, which doesn't include Hugh Jackman, I would prefer to see it go to Timothée Chalamet. It won't. It should.
It
Hugh
should.
Jackman, I want to leave because it's not going to go to Timothée Chalamet. It's not going to go to Hugh Jackman. Timothée Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name, like, freaking blew me away. So, you know what? I'm just mad. This category has me very upset, and I just can't handle any of this anymore.
This category is not finely tailored for this.
No, it's not. Not at all. It does not get the Taylor stamp of approval. Not
There's
even
a
a little
Taylor
bit.
stamp of approval?
There is.
There is now.
All right. Clearly, Matt doesn't watch Taylor's videos. Let's move on to
That's a
Best
lie.
Actress. Let's move on to Best Actress. We have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep for The Post. Matt, where would you land on this one if you had seen any of the movies?
Whoa. You're just assuming that I didn't see any of these movies, Jacob. I take offense to that.
Okay.
Because guess what? I didn't see any of these movies, but I just take offense to that. But you know what I did see? I saw a mashup that Will Ferrell made between I, Tonya and Blades of Steel with his character Chaz Michael Michaels, and I want that movie to be a thing. But in that trailer, I saw Margot Robbie looked like an insane crazy person. And also, my parents told me the story of the real life I, Tonya, and I went, oh my God, can Margot Robbie just win for having to play that psychopath that was actually real and not a fake human? Yeah, I think, again, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, actually, Margot Robbie, I think could actually win. Meryl Streep, Meryl Streep is not Denzel, like, in Best Actor. I don't think they just threw her in because it's Meryl Streep, but from what I've heard, you know, she's good, but it's not, you know, she's gonna steal the Oscar this year. So yeah, I'll say Margot Robbie.
So for me, I'm landing on, I think Frances McDormand deserves it. She will win it, but I'm with Matt on that. I love Margot Robbie and I, Tonya, because what Margot Robbie was able to do with Tonya Harding is take the character that Matt just said, the persona that Tonya Harding has within mainstream pop culture and within the news media and everything, and give her humanity. Now, look, is I, Tonya complete and utter bullshit? Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's a bit of truth to it, but majority of it is pretty much bullshit. But what they were able to do, what Margot Robbie was able to do with the character of Tonya Harding, and show who Tonya Harding was and what the performance she was able to give with this character, I thought was sensational, and I think she absolutely does deserve this nomination. I would love to see her win, but Frances McDormand is winning this one. Pat, where are you on this?
First, can I give a shout out to my best friend and roommate Alex, who is sitting on the couch next to me watching us live while we're doing this? That's just like the best thing that a friend can
I just
do.
saw that on
So
the
thank
live.
you for the support, Alex. I love you, man. Thank you. This is clearly McDormand's to win. I don't really have anything else to say other than I think it should go to Margot Robbie. I, Tonya was my favorite performance of the year from any of the females, but I feel like Frances is the lock for it because the Academy is flipping out for 3 Billboards, but this was clearly Margot Robbie's award, in my opinion. I don't think that anyone outside of Hugh Jackman poured themselves into a movie as much as she did. I mean, she wanted this movie made. She produced this movie. She starred in this movie. She made sure the script was right. Like, she chased this story to turn it into her own movie. And it's so good. And it's just such a fantastic film. And her performance is so profound in the ways that she really plays it. Like, she plays this character in that has weird innocence to everything that happens around her. And yet at the same time, she's this dark, horrible person that is completely broken inside. And yet at the same time, you're like, but you kind of feel for her. And that's really hard to do. That's not an easy task. So, kudos for her for pulling it off. I want it to go to her, but it's going to Frances McDormand.
And Malcolm, where are you landing?
Yeah, this is one that I think it will either be McDormand or Robbie, but the one I think kind of could pull it out as well is now I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but Saoirse Ronan. I think she could easily pull off Best Actress as well, because like her role in Lady Bird was amazing. I just love Lady Bird to bits. So.
Taylor, where are you landing on Best Actress?
I really hope it doesn't go to Saoirse Ronan, honestly. Like, she is not a bad actress, but Lady Bird, I don't get it. I don't get the hype behind Lady Bird personally. It should go to Margot Robbie. It won't. It'll go to Frances McDormand. That's really all I have to say about that.
Oh yeah, you guys blew all your impassioned speeches.
I was gonna say, Taylor, I just felt like had this been a couple of rounds ago, Taylor would have been more impassioned. But she's like, Saoirse Ronan just kind of sucks. I don't know. Frances McDormand. Okay.
So I just started reading all of the comments.
Friendship is declining so fast, Matt. I don't.
Oh, you want to talk about stuff declining? There's a guy in the chat who hates me for my puns. His name is Cool. Call out to you. More puns are coming. Wait till we get the best picture, buddy.
Mr. Anaconda Bite said that the part of Patrick Campbell were replaced by Christopher Plummer, and I'm not sure how to take that. I just noticed that on the chat, and I was like, "Oh man, that could hurt."
Mr. Anaconda Bite, listen, Mr. Anaconda Bite's a cool guy.
Hey, he said he loved me after, so hey, we're all good. Thanks, guys.
All right. We will be joined also in the next 5 minutes by a 17-year-old who is going to give us his opinion about why Get Out deserves Best Picture.
No.
But before we get to before we get to Best Picture and our discussion about the awards and the ceremony and everything, which we are going to get to in just a moment, let's talk about Best Director. We have Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water. Pat, just give us the love.
Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that. I was replying to Mr. Anaconda in the chat.
Give us all right. Best Director. Just tell us why Del Toro is winning Best Director.
Because Del Toro has been overlooked for way too long in the Academy. It's time. He should have gotten it for Pan's Labyrinth a long time ago. This is a guy who has been making great movies since the mid-90s, and yet the Academy is like, well, they're monster movies and ghost movies and yeah, old white guys who don't understand this stuff. And he deserves it. It's about damn time. This is the same guy who just a couple of years ago managed to make what I consider one of the best blockbusters ever with giant robots and fucking kaijus. Like, and he goes back and he comes and he's like, I want to make a prequel to Hellboy that is also basically The Creature from the Black Lagoon, but in like 1950s nostalgia town. But, everything's a lot more fucked up than you think it is. And it's a really great movie. It's really beautiful. And I really, really love this movie. It was my number 2 last year. I just really adore it. Oh, hey, Evan, what are you doing here? That's awkward. But yeah, Del Toro deserves this, and you won't silence me.
I think all momentum is with Del Toro. I think I will be shocked if Del Toro doesn't win this. There is a chance that Nolan gets this. There is a tiny, most likely not going to happen, but there is a small chance Nolan gets this or Peele. I don't think Gerwig gets it, and I really don't think Paul Thomas Anderson wins this for Phantom Thread. I think the nomination was a shock. Him winning would I think that would be a riot in of itself. Like people would just be bookkeep. Okay, betting companies that are betting on anything. If you bet on Paul Thomas Anderson winning for Phantom Thread, you bet anything like $10, you'll probably walk away a millionaire. Like it's not happening. So I think companies will go bankrupt if Paul Thomas Anderson wins Best Director. Evan, tell me why I'm wrong and why Paul Thomas Anderson deserves Best Director.
Okay, here's the thing. Del Toro is going to win. I don't know why. It's
out of here.
Look, it's a well-made
film. Can we boot Evan already? Can we get him out of here?
Sure. No, look, it's a really well-made film, but Get Out has superior directing to it. I was watching some videos on like just a small like minor details on like how Peele would just be like, yeah, this was put there for this reason. And it's like it just blew my mind. And then the directing of Phantom Thread just blows my mind. Just the complete style, yet the story behind it, and how he's able to put these actors in the positions where they need to be, and like how he places the camera. It's just Phantom Thread. It sucks is not enough people have seen it, but Phantom Thread is just on another level of. From the very first shot, you knew Paul Thomas Anderson came to play. Like that film to me is the film that should win Best Direction, but it won't, just because no one's seen it.
It is a great movie. I will give you that, and the direction is beautiful. But you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Just like your baseball team thing, you are wrong.
Oh, Pat, you're the one in the Yankees hat.
Yeah, and look how we're doing in the preseason. So
I know.
Malcolm, where are you landing?
Yeah, I mean, Del Toro's got the momentum, and I think he's going to win. But if there is a dark horse that could snatch it away, it's going to be Peele.
All right, Matt, you haven't seen one of these movies.
No, yeah, just stop. First thing, I think Kafal wins an Oscar for writing what we're all thinking during Evan's speech. That's the first thing he says. Put down the crack pipe, Evan. So thank you for that. Like a couple of things. One, Nolan I think could win because I believe I said it on another And the Winner Is episode. Like Dunkirk is kind of a total directing thing. Like it's not really like a story or actor driven. It's kind of all visual, which is all Nolan. I do have to give it to the old men who vote for the Oscars that they were able to remember Guillermo del Toro's name and write it down actually to get it nominated. I give them Peele credit for that.
And Peele. And Jordan Peele, too.
Jordan Peele is not a heart. God, Evan, sticklers to every joke I tell. Fuck. I think it's going to be Del Toro. I think Nolan could maybe steal it, but just everything that I've heard about it, and also just he's got the momentum going for him, which is what I think is going to propel him to win the Oscar.
Taylor, is this Del Toro's?
So Pat, we're adding this to our riot list, right, Pat?
Yeah, goddamn right we are, especially now that we know what Evan's stance.
Right. Okay. Good. So yeah, this better go to Guillermo del Toro. Otherwise, Pat and I are rioting again.
Yep.
And yeah, the list of films that Del Toro has made that are just incredible. Like, I'm gonna be so upset if the night ends and he's not walking away with this award because, I mean, The Shape of Water was one of my favorite movies. What?
If that happens and we are overlooked again, I straight up am going to riot, and we're taking Evan and we're parading him down the street and letting the rioters have him because this is crazy.
Whoa, Pat, I'm all for messing with Evan, man, but that's too far. That's too far. We got to dress him up like a chicken first. That's as far as we go.
Wow, I'm glad that my speech got interrupted for that. That was worth it.
Sorry, Taylor.
Sorry,
Welcome
Taylor.
to Jokes first, film analysis.
Oh no, it's fine. I can't go back to it now. It's done. The moment is past.
I will be the idiot on the table who thinks Del Toro is slightly overrated, but whatever.
Whoa!
I didn't like Crimson Peak. I did not like Pacific Rim. I'm okay
Jesus
on the Hellboy movie.
So See, Pat, do you see what I have to deal with here? Do you see what I deal with?
Okay,
What
number
you
one,
have to
Taylor,
deal
why
with-
have you never asked me to be on here to like tag team with you with these?
Time out. Taylor, what
You
you
have an
have
open invite.
What a
Time out. You have an open invite.
No. Taylor, what you have to deal with, the three of us on this panel have to deal with on a constant day, okay?
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. This motherfucker's sitting here talking shit about Del Toro. What is this?
Hey, whoa, hang on. Pan's Labyrinth, he 100% deserved at least a nomination.
Oh, okay,
because
good.
Pan's
That
Labyrinth is
one movie.
adorable.
The one
Sorry,
movie.
yes, the one movie. I am sorry, the one movie.
God.
Don't get me started on Del Toro because we will literally go for an hour. Before we get to best picture though, before we get there, let's talk about the ceremony. We're going to be the Oscars and we're going to drag out best picture for as long as we possibly can. So, the ceremony
Wait, just really fast. I wasn't here, but the one thing I'm like really passionate about, Defoe better win Best Supporting Actor. That is all. Goodbye. Good day.
Oh, God. Okay, I said it in the chat. Is this like Survivor? Can we vote Evan off?
Okay, let's move on to Jimmy Kimmel is returning as the host. I put up a poll the other day going, what is the first joke he makes? There are three jokes that are going to be made at some point in his opening monologue, and that is about Harvey Weinstein, Donald Trump, or the Best Picture fiasco last year. What one is first? Evan, I'm going with you. What's first?
He's gonna go after Trump. He has a history of going political on his shows, and the Oscars is the place to go political. He's going after Trump first.
Is that first?
Yes,
So that's
first.
first.
That's the very
Okay.
first.
Taylor, what's first?
I mean, in the poll, I voted for the fiasco last year, but it definitely, Evan might be right. It might be Trump because of the freaking hatred that he has for Trump and how political he always is.
Matt, where are you going?
Here's the thing. If Warren Beatty and forgetting her name,
Dunaway.
yeah, if
Wow.
they weren't presenting Best Picture again, I would say definitely be that. But they're saving that until right before Best Picture. It's going to be Trump because Kimmel hates Trump, and we're gonna get it. I'm fairly certain it's going to be like the opening joke. I would not be shocked if in like whatever opening number they do the Oscars, that's where we get the Trump joke.
Okay. Malcolm, what's the first joke?
As much as I hate to agree with Evan, so I'm not. I think I think the Harvey Weinstein stuff, I think that's going to be fresh on people's heads. So that's probably going to be the first one he's going to come up with just to get it out the way. And
Okay. Patrick.
First, shout out to Cathal Thomas Coleman, who said Jacob London is no longer a national treasure.
Yeah, we
So
Don't worry.
thank you for
I
that.
pissed off my
Kafal-
country that much.
So deservedly so. I actually think that his first thing is probably going to be more the Harvey Weinstein stuff. As much as I think he will go after Trump, he did it in the middle of the show last year, and I think that right now that we don't need to start the show that way, because I think that you start almost the wrong foot, if you will, on that, just because you're going after the politics when we should be focusing on what's going on in Hollywood first, which was the Weinstein stuff, followed by what happened last year, followed by what's happening politically. So it makes more sense to me that he'll go after Weinstein, and so I'm probably wrong, and he'll probably go after Trump first.
See, I think the envelopes. I think his first joke will be a reference to an envelope. And if he references envelope, if he references any of that sort of thing where it's hinted at the best picture thing, that to me counts as the best picture joke. And
Well,
I think
He's already making those jokes in the ads.
yeah.
So that's my other thing. So
I
you
mean-
could be
But I think last year, he opened the Oscars going, "What a time!" Do you remember when everyone thought the Oscars were racist last year?
yeah.
And that was the joke, and that was a Oscar joke. And I think he will start with an Oscar joke, then go to the Hollywood joke, and then go to the political joke. I think that's how he does it.
Just look at the marketing for how it was announced that he was going to host again. It was literally him and Warren Beatty making a joke about, which was great. And I love Warren Beatty.
Get out of my house.
I love the fact. I love the fact that, and this is why I love Warren Beatty. I love the fact that he is totally fine with making fun of the fact that that happened. Like it's so great that it's like everyone knows it's not his fault, so he can just laugh at the fact that it happened to him.
Yeah, I think that is another thing around it. It's not like a Steve Harvey moment where, you know, he genuinely read the wrong name. It was, no, I got handed the wrong envelope. This isn't my fault. Like,
Warren Beatty didn't even read the name. It was Jay who read the name. Warren Beatty just didn't leave.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, they will be presenting Best Picture again this year. I think part of me is like, that's a good decision. You're giving them the chance to quote unquote redeem and have their moment. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, the whole point was it was the 50th anniversary. It's now the 51st anniversary. Like I don't know. I part of me thinks that you should have gone with someone else. I think you probably should have gone with someone who was very involved in the Me Too movement. I think that would have been smarter, and I think that would have been a lot more politically and appearance-wise better. Pat?
What if, and I'm just spitballing here, what if they announced them as the people presenting and it's actually a joke and they get taken off stage for the real presenter?
That'd be funny.
I don't think they do that. I think
they probably won't, but that would be clever.
That'd be funny.
It would be funny. It would be. I'm still like.
That'd be great.
I think it is possible that they do that, but I don't. That was something. Actually, it's funny. That was something I did think of, and I was like, I think you're drawing too much attention, and and at a moment where it's Best Picture, which is such a huge moment, you are taking away from Best Picture if you do that, and I don't think they want to do that. Evan, am I crazy?
Okay, here's what I want to happen. Whenever Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway go up to announce Best Picture, I want both the cast and crew of Get Out and 3 billboards on stage, just to see the complete irony of those 2 films and the cast and crew up there together, just because they're like polar opposite movies. I just think it'd be amazing.
Okay. Taylor, what do you think of Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty coming up and presenting again?
I mean, I don't really think they needed to. I think it just kind of feels almost like too much of trying to, you know, go back and correct it. I feel like it's not necessary at this point.
Malcolm?
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't think it's necessary. And I mean, there's a lot of other movies that are turning 50 this year that they could have got cast from to present, because it's the 50th anniversary of Planet of the Apes this year, and as well as Oliver. So, I mean, you could have got a cast from one of them to come up and do it. But, I mean, have they announced the presenter for Best Actress yet? Because it was going to be Casey Affleck, but he's pulled out.
Literally, well, that's a good segue, and we will get to that. It was announced. Now, obviously,
whoa.
Oh,
I
sorry.
get to have my piece.
Okay, sorry,
I
Matt.
see how it is.
Have your piece.
No, okay. Here's the thing. This is, I felt like when I heard this, I was like, talk about driving a nail into a joke. I felt like you could have given them like whatever the first award of the night is. Let them present that. Let them present whatever technical and get the joke out of the way that way. People are now forgetting. The reason why they present is because it was was it 50th? Yeah, it was 50th for Bonnie and Clyde. That's why they presented. They do that a lot. I feel like there's a lot of movies turning 50 this year that you could have gotten someone else, or like Jacob said, the Me Too. This just feels like a very I don't know. It feels like the Oscars are trying to right the wrong that one of their employees made by being like, no, we're a part of the joke too. Look, they're presenting again. Yeah, it's a little much.
It does feel a little weird. I mean, hell, this is the thing. Like, it would be real. See, actually, no. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is 50 years old this year. That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. Sorry, I do think if Sidney Poitier came up and presented Best Picture this year,
that would have been awesome.
Actually, this feels, now that you bring that up and how appropriate that would have been, this feels like a slap in the face. And
Yeah.
I mean, I really wasn't thinking about it in that term, but no, legitimately, in a year where you have both 3 Billboards and Get Out nominated, plus you also have like the underlining idea of like racial tension and things like that in The Shape of Water and political correct. Why was that not the movie that was used? We don't need to use this as a course correction. That doesn't make any sense. It should be Sidney Poitier up there.
So when I say the 50th anniversary, I'm not meaning 2018's the 50th anniversary. Like the 2017 Oscars, which is the year that they're
right.
Last year was the 50th anniversary. So I think
right.
Yeah.
But we're there with you, is what we're saying.
I do think that
Sidney
would have been a smarter
Poitier
option.
should have been presenting this year.
Especially, anyway.
I mean, also because it's Sidney Poitier. It's not just it's not just that movie that he's very famous for. So it's like
and In the Heat of the Night, because they both came out the same year.
Yeah.
Guess who's coming
In
to
the
dinner
Heat of the
by-
Night would be another great one for him to be up there for, and that movie's
It's this
freaking
year.
incredible.
It's that
Yeah.
he had both movies that year. So anyway,
yeah.
all right.
Thanks a lot, Oscars. Hope you don't
All right.
break your hand, pat yourself on the back.
Malcolm mentioned it. Now, if you have not heard, I don't know how you didn't, but Casey Affleck, normally in a tradition, Casey Affleck, or the last year's Best Actor winner, will present Best Actress. Obviously, with everything that's happened with the Me Too movement and with everything that's going on, and Casey Affleck, all the allegations against Casey Affleck and everything, he has pulled out of presenting Best Actress this year. Instead, they announced Jodie Foster and Jennifer Lawrence. Pat, I'm going to start with you on this one because I'm going to throw you under the bus. What do you think on this? I don't know if they were the two right people. I can't think of who was the right person, but I don't know if they were the right people.
Why did it have to be Jennifer Lawrence? I'm going to say that right now. Why did it have to be Jennifer Lawrence? I'm cool if you have Jodie Foster up there. Jodie Foster is Hollywood royalty. She's been an important part of the Hollywood system. Jennifer Lawrence is a flashbang that is continuing to dwindle in front of us, and it doesn't feel right that she's doing this. And I don't mean to attack her. She's a fine actress who has gotten way too much starlight and is fading because of it. She's been shoved down our throats, and this just feels like another version of that to me. And it's really frustrating because I was someone who really liked Jennifer Lawrence in the beginning, but now I'm burned out on it, and it just feels like you could have gone with anyone else. I mean, why not some of the people from the Me Too movement? Like, not Jennifer Lawrence. She's just so busy trying to convince us that she's normal like the rest of us that a stunt like this feels not normal, and unnecessary. So this just not what I wanted. And I don't know, man. It's wrong. It's just a bad choice.
Evan, who would you have picked if to present Best Actress this year?
All right, here we go. To present it, you bring up the two people who weren't nominated from the Hidden Figures crew. Taraji P. Henson and Janelle Monáe as, because why not?
Fair enough. Matt, what do you think?
Listen, I think Jodie Foster could have done it on her own. She's
right.
Jodie Foster. She's a very she could have. I feel like it's like the Oscars. There's a lot of times where you just have one person presenting. It's not a new thing. I feel like Jennifer Lawrence. It's kind of just a weird. I don't know, and also there's a lot of actresses that you could have what we've talked about. Jacob has brought up some drug. What if Paltrow could have been someone that you could have brought up because of the whole Weinstein thing? I just feel like Jennifer Lawrence. I like Jennifer Lawrence a lot, but I just feel like it's a weird pandering to general people thing with Jennifer Lawrence, and that's not trying to be jerkish to Jennifer Lawrence, but it just feels like. Why is she there? Just let Jodie Foster do it. Jodie Foster, I'm pretty sure, has enough cred to be able to present Best Picture by herself.
Well,
Taylor.
Yeah, I'm with Pat on this one. I saw the announcement of it was gonna be those two, and I just had to roll my eyes because I just can't handle any more Jennifer Lawrence right now. Like, I can't. I was a huge fan of her at first, and I was really rooting for her, and I was excited, and it's just been such a downward spiral for me for quite a long time now, where I just, every time I see her name pop up in something, I just don't want anything to do with it. Like, I just, for some reason now, to me, she just is not appealing at all, and just seeing that, I don't know, it kind of bummed me out, honestly.
Okay, maybe I'm missing something. But what's the beef with what's the beef with J-Law?
It's mostly just that she's burned herself out, man. Like, she came out so strong with Winter's Bone, and we were all like, God, she could be this great young actress, only to have her shoved into every project. She had 4 Hunger Games movies. Then they forced her into X-Men First Class, which was fine. She was fine in it, but she doesn't want to be in those movies, and it's clear. And you see her
still
in the movie, like, yeah, and then she's in Silver Linings Playbook, and she's wrongly cast in that movie. Not that she's not good, she's just wrongly cast. It should have been an older actress to be off of Bradley Cooper, and I don't know. It got to this point where her trying to be normal and being like, well, look, guys, I fart and eat pizza like the rest of you. Like, we don't care. And
the bit has died.
Yeah, exactly.
The stuff that made her really interesting when she first came onto the scene of, like, you see her interviews and it's like, oh, she's wacky and crazy, just like us. Now it's just like, it feels it feels, this is going to be an odd comparison. It feels very similar to Jeff Goldblum, like post Jurassic Park, where, like, when Goldblum first came on the scene, he was this kind of odd actor that was in these movies where you usually didn't see acting like that. And then he sort of realized that, and he kind of just played into that, and everyone was like, okay, Jeff. Okay. I mean, we still all love Jeff Goldblum, but that's because he sort of embraced it. Whereas Jennifer Lawrence still feels like the bit is working. And also the fact that Hollywood is continually shoving her into our faces.
And I say this real quick, like with Red Sparrow, it feels like a vanity project that she decided to make because she wanted to try to be different, but the thing is she's still just Russian J-Law in it, and it's just not interesting anymore. I mean, and I hate to say it, I feel like she basically made it to be half naked in the movie at one point because we all know that she had been hacked before, and it was like, well, at least if people are going to see me naked, at least they paid me $20 million for it. Like, I don't know, man. Stuff like that just bothers me.
All right, well, let's move.
Somewhere.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on to the one other. This sounds morbid. One of my favorite things out of the Oscars is the in memoriam section. I think it is a beautifully done. I think most years that I can remember, they have done the in memoriam incredibly well and very beautifully, and it's always been handled with a great deal of respect. We don't quite know yet who is going to present the in memoriam section and actually be standing up and being the one to and sing and present. I still think, hands down, think what Barbra Streisand did, I think 3 years ago, is the best they've ever done in the in memoriam section. But where do we think? What do we think about this year's in memoriam? And it's not going to compare to last year's one and how heartbreaking that was. But yeah. What do we think about this year's in memoriam? What do you think it's going to be like this year, Matt? Matt?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's always a very odd thing, but I think the Oscars, say what you will about, pandering, the in memoriam, they always handle with a lot of respect, and it's always a very nice thing as someone who's just a big fan of film and of just all aspects of film to you get to see that, they really don't snub anyone, if that makes any sense. Like they have people who you literally, unless you are like me and you watch behind the scenes features and stuff, you never knew who they were. If they pass away, the Oscars will acknowledge it. Yeah, I think last year's was definitely, that was just a punch to the gut for everyone. Still upset that Alan Thicke didn't get mentioned. Not over that. But I think the first thing is Bill I'm sorry, Bill Paxton. I apologize. Bill Pullman is still alive. Bill Paxton, I think, is definitely going to be like the first one up, considering he died wasn't like the day before the Oscars last year. I feel like it was like the day or like 2 days before, because I remember Jennifer Aniston presented and she meant, because I think it had been. But yeah, I think it's still there. It's going to be very respectful. It's as usual, but I think last year's is because everyone I think had at least one person in last year's in memoriam that they were like, oh God, why are they gone?
And Pat,
last year's is probably the hardest that we've ever gone through, but this year's not going to be a lot easier. As Matt just brought up, Bill Paxton, which for me is still one of the most heartbreaking losses of last year. But we're also forgetting last year we lost John Hurt, Roger Moore, and Mary Tyler Moore on top of it, on top of all these other fantastic actors and actresses who have entertained us our entire lives. I mean, it doesn't matter how you know them or not. I mean, Roger Moore, of course, most people will know was James Bond, but I mean, he did plenty of stuff outside of that. You have Mary Tyler Moore, who set the standard for after Lucy did on television, but she did some great movie performances too. And it's just like, it's so heartbreaking sitting through it, but it's also kind of beautiful to pay tribute to these people who have entertained us our whole lives. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to crying the moment that John Hurt comes up. It's just too bad that it won't be as the War Doctor.
I think John Hurt was last year because it was before March. He died
Was
in
it?
January.
Was it?
I'm 90% sure about that.
I spent
Maybe
most of
it
last
was.
year's in memoriam in tears, and then
Yeah. But pretty much all of us did. Does anyone else? Does anyone else have anything else they want to add?
No, I'm not.
You're right. It was January 30th, so it was right before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the big one. Best picture, guys. Evan, I'm going to start with you. The nominees are Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Evan, what will win and what should win?
What will win will be Get Out. What should win will be the Florida Projects. Oh wait, sorry, I mean Get Out.
God.
Sorry, I just had to shout that movie out. Okay, it's Florida Projects.
Malcolm, what should win and what will win?
I think should win is Get Out, but what will win will be Shape of Water. And what should have been nominated is Logan, but I'm not going to go on a speech about that.
I think our Logan love has been very properly illustrated today. Taylor, what should win and what will win?
I mean, for me, it's either Get Out or Shape of Water should win. I think Shape of Water will win.
Okay, Matt, where are you landing?
What should win? Logan. What is going to win? I think Get Out would definitely pull it from what I've been hearing. But to go with the safer bet, I don't know. I think Dunkirk actually could win it because I think it Dunkirk. The thing I like about, and this is how I usually judge Best Picture winners, is it should be the movie that has the best of like all elements that are nominated individually. I think Dunkirk definitely has that. It has great acting, has great visuals, sound mix, all that. So I think Dunkirk could win, but it should be Logan.
All right, Pat, should win, will win.
For me, it should and will be The Shape of Water. It's not even a contest for me. Like, that, for me, is the movie that should win. It's the movie that I've been pulling for all year to win it, since Logan, obviously, as we talked about, didn't even get nominated. But it's Shape of Water. I just think that this is finally Del Toro's time to get there, and it deserves it.
I cannot believe I'm about to say this. I agree with Evan. I think okay. Shape of Water is the safe bet. Shape of Water is absolutely 100% the favorite. It is the safe bet. And if you are going to bet, if tomorrow someone put a gun to my head and said, bet your house, or bet your life on bet your life on a movie, I would pick Shape of Water. But my heart is telling me that Get Out is going to win this, and I think the preferential system is going to help Get Out. I think that because I think Get Out is going to get a lot of those 2 and 3 nominations, whereas I think Shape of Water is going to get a lot of number 1s and a lot of number 5s and 6s. They're not going to get. Not a lot of people are going to have Shape of Water at 2 and 3, I think, whereas I do believe majority of the Academy will have Get Out at number 2 or 3. And a lot of them will have it at 1, but a lot will have it at 2 and 3. And I think based on preferential, Get Out will win, and that's what I want to win. And this is the one I'm taking a punt on. I have put money on this. I want this to happen, and I think Get Out will win.
I think so. I think something that needs to be said, though, this is a reality because Moonlight won last year. I think this is a real possibility because Moonlight won last year. If Moonlight didn't win last year, I don't think this is a reality for Get Out.
That's also true. I think because we saw last year the effects of the preferential system. At least I think that's what I believe that last year we saw the effects of the preferential system, where a lot of people would have had La La Land at number 1. A lot of people would have Moonlight at number 1, but a lot of people had Moonlight higher in their preferential systems than La La Land. And I think that's what we heard. Pat, what do you think about this? And do you kind of see where we're coming from in this?
I can see where you guys are coming from. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but I get it. It's weird. It's just a weird year because there's a lot going on. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I still want Shape of Water to win. I know you say it's the safe choice, but that's where my heart is. This is something I find interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised. I really would not be surprised if what I love about this year. Sorry, let me repeat that. What I love about this year is that no matter what wins, something's going, like basically a stat is going to break. This has been one of the most interesting years in terms of how, where was the last time you saw a Best Picture race be this crazy and this what is going to happen? Because Shape of Water didn't get nominated for the SAG, which no film has ever won Best Picture and not get nominated for SAG. And then Get Out is most likely only going to win one other Academy Award, and that is Best Best Screenplay. If that happens, it could walk away with the fact that it's not going to get it's not going to get a nomination at all, but it hasn't gotten a film editing nomination, which very rarely happens. 3 Billboards didn't get a Best Director nomination, and that is another favorite. And I think, and then Lady Bird, all of us today, none of us have said Lady Bird is really winning an Academy Award. So if Lady Bird is also going to be a frontrunner, it might not win. It'll win Best Picture without winning a single other Academy Award. Dunkirk might not win a single other Academy Award. Taylor, is there anything there what is going to be your big surprise this year, do you think?
Oh, man. If anything, that's tough because, like you said, there is a lot going on with everything this year. I think that if something that'll be a big surprise for me is if something like Lady Bird wins, where you have that win, but it doesn't win anything else. If the best picture winner this year is a film that doesn't win anything else, that's going to be what really just has me sitting there is this real? Are we in an alternate universe? What's happening?
I'm going to go around the board one last time before we sign off. Evan, what is going to be, Taylor kind of already gave hers, what is going to be our biggest surprise? What is the thing everyone is talking about at the end of this Oscars?
I think Phantom Thread steals 2 wins that no one sees coming. There's a reason these films got nominated. The Academy has seen these films. Phantom Thread will get some nomination. Will get some wins.
I think you're right about one thing. I think they have seen these films to nominate that. I might assume that is correct.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say that a lot of them have seen the films.
No.
We're being honest.
No. But
I don't think they saw the Denzel.
The general audience, right? No one expected them to get. No one was like, okay, Phantom Thread was gonna get like this amount of nominations, but it did. No one's expecting Phantom Thread to win anything, but I think it will.
Pat, what is the biggest surprise we have walking out of after the Oscars? What is the one thing everyone's going, oh my God, last year's was La La Land won Best Picture for a second. What's this year's big talking point?
Why the fuck was Logan not nominated for anything? That is the biggest thing of the year. Why was Logan not nominated? I don't know, actually.
Get nominated for screenplay.
It deserved more, Evan.
No,
it deserved more.
Get out of
Evan,
here.
Get out
Go
of
back
here.
to watching Florida Project.
No, I think it could potentially be 3 Billboards winning in the end. I don't know why. I just feel like that's going to be a lot more surprising because we keep talking about the safe choice being Shape of Water. Or it would be great to see Get Out win, though. And that could be a great surprise to actually see the award go to something that is a little bit more popular and mainstream, if you will. But it will never happen. That's my thing, is that the old crusty voters are probably going to go for 3 Billboards, even though it should be any one of the other movies that's not Dunkirk. So,
Malcolm, what's your big surprise?
Well, for me, the biggest surprise that I don't think is going to happen, but it'll be a big to input. It'll be a big to input if it does, will be Shape of Water not winning anything. That would be a big surprise, which I don't think is going to happen. So.
Could you imagine that? Like, actually imagine Shape of Water walks away with nothing. Like, does not win a single Academy Award.
But it's weird. If you run down the nominations, there's a legitimate shot that happens. The one that I think it's a lock for is production design. I think that is the one it's a lock for.
No, so we were discussing director. I think is his lock. I think director is his one absolute guaranteed lock. That no matter what, it could lose everything else. It will walk away with best director. I think it's one guaranteed lock. Matt, what's your big surprise? What's going to be the biggest moment that we're talking about at the Oscars?
Well, I mean, it might not be the biggest, but for me, it's if Blade Runner does not walk away with a single technical award. That, to me, is 1 snub, and 2 is going to piss me off to no end. If I don't care. We basically said Blade Runner was walking away with all of them, but if it doesn't get 1, I'm going to be super pissed.
And we know what happens if it doesn't win cinematography.
Oh, yeah. If it doesn't win cinematography, the fact that a lot of people are going to LA is get the hell out of LA real quick. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this Oscars discussion. I want to thank all my special guests for who turned up and everyone from Take 3 as well. Matt, where can the good people find you online?
You guys can find me online on Twitter at Kearns_Matthew. That cool guy in the chat. I think you should follow me. I have a lot more puns. Speaking of puns, you can find me on Take 3, especially on the Oscars watch along tomorrow with me and all my bad puns. You can also find me on YouTube at MattMovie611, where I make videos with a lot of bad puns.
Right.
Bad puns.
Malcolm, where can the good people find you online?
Well, you can find me trying to find a way to go to LA and starting this riot, but otherwise you can find me on my personal YouTube at Malcolm's Middle Earth Media, and also on Twitter and Letterboxd at Malcor.
All right, and Evan, where can the good people find you online?
You guys can find me trying to voice my opinions on Twitter.
God.
Yelling at me every 5 seconds. I love you guys very much. On Twitter at EvanGuy15. I love these people, I think. And yeah, have a good day, guys.
You think?
I want to thank my two very special guests. Patrick Campbell, where can the good people find you online?
Guys, you can find me at Twitter at PJ_Campbell or at Facebook at Patrick Campbell _PJ. You can find my writing at SoCalThrills.com or over at Omega Underground. I like to talk about movies, clearly, so you should check me out over there. I guess here at Take 3, because I've been here a little bit lately, so thank you guys.
Wow.
Love having you, and you are more than welcome to come back whenever. Taylor, where can the good people find you online?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Finally Tailored. You can find me on Instagram _Finally Tailored, and popping up on Take 3 occasionally also. So look out for that.
And you can find Pat's Corgis where?
They actually have an Instagram. So if you go to Corgi_Kirk, he does have an Instagram.
Oh God!
Doesn't like that.
He's talking about Logan, I bet.
Yeah, every time. Every time.
This not best picture.
Shut up.
Evan, you're not invited.
Evan.
All right,
not
guys,
invited.
thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jacob London. You guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Jacob London. Tomorrow, starting at 8 p.m. EST, we will attempt. I am saying attempt because we don't know how this is going to work, considering we're all in different countries at different times.
Oh, it's going to be wondrous.
Yes, it's going to be. It could get
disaster.
really interesting really fast. So we're going to attempt to do an Oscars live stream. I can't promise it will work. I can't promise that we will end up staying for the entire time.
Jacob, listen. If you're a member of the Take 3 Facebook page, it's going to be very similar, I'm going to think, to our Golden Globe sponsor. If you remember that, and if not, look it up.
Jacob, I actually have a question. What are the odds? What are the odds? A Vietnamese company puts a copyright strike on us during the live stream?
Probably will again, like last time we tried to do one of these live streams. So, guys, we will see you hopefully then tomorrow. If we can, it would be amazing. Until then, guys, my name is Jacob London. I want to thank everyone here, and we will see you tomorrow for the 90th Academy Awards. Till then, take care.